Yo, what's up? What's up? Where is everybody? What we doing?
I ain't got the answer to that one.
What's
What up?
up, B Mash? What's up, Tatiana?
Hey y'all.
What's going on? How y'all feeling?
It's Monday.
Dang. Sound like it's been a rough day.
Yes, I'm not gonna lie.
Dang.
Yeah, it's been wild.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had a busy day. It hasn't been bad. It's just been busy. It's just been like one thing after another. It's like, dang, I thought my day today was gonna be a little lighter than this, but it definitely wasn't. But it was a good day still. Got my heat fixed because my daggone heat wasn't working. That's a whole nother story.
Oh wow, that's good that you got it fixed.
Right. I mean,
Right.
the good thing is it's not that cold in Georgia right now. I had just turned it on because it had got a little cold, you know what I'm saying, like over the like past weekend, like last weekend. And that's when I realized it wasn't working. And it was only the downstairs unit. So, worst case scenario, we just hang out upstairs if it was cold.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I went ahead and got it taken care of before it get cold.
Okay.
All
Can y'all
right.
see me today?
Huh?
Can y'all see me today?
Yeah, we can. I don't know what was going on at one time.
I don't know either, but
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and let Ben jump into this homework. I know he's busy, so I'm going to let him do the homework so he can get back to what he was doing. And then, oh, he said somebody he got to fix his mic real quick. So whenever he fixes that, he's going to go ahead and jump in, and we'll get started. We'll get started with the homework. Aisha, what's happening?
Hey, I'm here.
That's what's up. So Terry, I know you said you driving, so you ain't got to try to unmute or nothing. I'm just saying, what's up? Definitely be safe. He said his mic won't work, and I'm driving and my mic won't work. Okay. Well, we don't want you trying to unmute anyway, even if it was working. We don't want you trying to do that while you on the road. So that works out. All right. Ben looks like he's here now. He's gonna go over some homework. So I go ahead and turn it over to Ben.
Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So let me share my screen. All right. Can you guys see my screen now? Oh wait, it's still loading, and it's there. All right. So for this week's homework, there were only like 3 people who were quite consistent, and shout out to Tatiana for being so consistent with your homeworks. All right. So first we have Faith. Is Faith here? So let's check your homework. Wait, why is it not playing? Okay, that was weird. Let me just refresh. Oh, there's new homeworks. Okay, Aisha. Okay, let's start with Aisha first. Hey, what's up, Aisha? All right, so let's check your homework. Okay, your tilt. Okay.
So I may have messed up the captions a little bit, so it might be a little
Mm.
unclear.
Yeah. All right. I just want to be sure. Just checking everything. Okay. Okay. All right. And then let's check on. Oh, you didn't have statics?
I don't think it uploaded. I can upload it tonight so you can still review it.
Oh, because there's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos, but yeah, it's okay. But anyway, with your static and with your pans and tilts, next time it would be great if you take your time on the movement, not just going right, like doing this and that. Just take your time on doing the movement, And before you start recording, this doesn't only apply to you, but to everyone, that you have to check your tripod head first, whether it's a ball or a fluid head, if it's not too loose or not too tight, and also practice the motion until you get it right. Then you start recording. And also
Okay.
additionally, you also have to check with your settings and also with like the focus, because some like with this one right here on your pan, it's already like out of focus. So you have to check before you start recording. But one question though, what's your tripod? Like, does it have like a tripod ball or a fluid head?
A fluid head.
Oh, a fluid head. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So just do just do check your fluid head next time if it's not too tight or not too loose. And then just take your time on the motion. Just for now, like to practice for it with the motion. All right. So still good job on your homework. Right. So next we have Faith. Is Faith here? All right. So for Faith, let's check your homework. So this is your pan. Okay. Noise. Static. And tilt. All right. Another pan right here. Your second static. Then your second tilt. It's really, really nice. Okay. Your third pan. All right. Third static. And your third tilt. All right. So Faith, again, once again, what I commented on your homework, amazing work. Like all of the motions and everything is so perfect and it's so smooth. So amazing job on your homework. All right. Next we have Tatiana. What's up, Tatiana?
Yeah.
All right. So in your homework, oh wait, let's check first. Let's check. Okay, first, this is your tilt. First tilt. First static. Yep. I did comment on the overexposure right here. So again, like with this is your closet, right?
The next set is the
Yeah.
closet. What you're looking at is my bathroom.
This is bathroom
Part
2
one
or 1? Oh, okay. So
or
yeah.
part two. I think they're a little bit they're showing out of order of what I uploaded them, but that
Oh,
one, the out of focus one is bathroom 2, I think.
like
Yeah.
this one?
Mhm.
Okay. So for your bathroom 2, again, it's very overexposed on the brighter areas. So again, do not forget about this one. You can still lower your ISO here. So it will counter the overexposure. It's either when you lower your ISO or lower or increase your shutter speed, just either of the two, or even increase your aperture just to counter your overexposure. All right.
Okay.
And then for this one, for your closet, this is quite dark, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Did you do this in autofocus or manual focus?
I thought I was in manual. I was gonna ask about that because I feel like
Mhm.
so because I've had already been like using the kit lens, and so like I'm new to the prime lens that I bought for the class or whatever. And
Mhm.
I just feel like sometimes when I am trying to do video with it, it's like I don't know, something's going on with like the focus. So I'm still trying to like figure out how to balance that part out when I'm taking video. But you might
Well,
have, I might have to check my settings. Let me see.
yeah, because your settings here is ISO is 1600, 1.8 aperture, and 125 shutter speed. If your goal is to focus like a lot, like everything as much as possible, then the more you increase your aperture, then the better. The more it
Okay.
focuses everything, because the lower your aperture is, the more it creates the bouquet effect.
Okay.
Yeah. So it still goes back to the basics on what you
Mhm.
guys had on week 1. And also, like, you can do like autofocus on video, but most of the I would suggest, like, personally, to master like manual focusing while doing video first, so you can, get familiarized with the focusing on your subjects and get creative with it, right? Because you get more, because if there's a lot of like things, like for example like shots, or like if you want really some unique shots, then manual focusing would be the best, because you can manually manipulate everything.
Okay. I
Yeah,
think
so
I think I've been in manual though. So is there another reason or another like impact of why it would be like blurring in and out like that?
oh, it's just a matter, because when you move the camera, or when you move something, or like when you start the motion with your camera, of course the focusing is different because of the distance of
Okay.
your subject. So you really have to like practice. Like while you're moving, you're also like moving your focus.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, it takes time. It takes time to practice with that. So yeah.
You mean like you're also like zooming? Is
Not
it?
zooming, you're manually focusing from the lens itself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Right, right. So still, judging from what you uploaded from before and this homework right here, you did improve a lot. So still, great job on your homework.
Thank
Right,
you,
all
Ben.
right. Next we have Cam, if Cam is here. All right. So for Cam, let's check your homework. First pan. Okay. Your first static. So I did notice on your static that it's still, is Cam here? Because okay, Cam isn't here, I guess. But yeah, if Cam, you're seeing this, your static is still moving, as what I mentioned in the comments. So again, when it's static, it has to be like just there, like stand still, like just on the tripod. Okay, let me play this. First tilt, second pan, second static. I can still see shakiness a little bit. And then your second tilt. Third pan. Third static. Still see the shakiness part. And then the third tilt. Okay. So based on my comments right here, just two things. The static shots again. Oh, no, three things. First, the static shots. Still, I can see the movement. It should have been like just still. And then second is that your motion shots. You just have to, like, again, practice the motion first and checking your tripod head before you start recording, right? And then for the third one, I noticed that it's like for this one, this part right here is very overexposed. So what I commented here is that you just at least not go below 1:125 for your shutter speed for now. And then also you can still like increase a bit of your aperture or increase your shutter speed just to counterbalance just to counter the overexposure. So yeah. So I guess Beneath, that's it for now for this
All
week.
right.
There are only a few students, so far it's 4 students now who
Oh,
uploaded their
wow.
homeworks. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the rest of y'all, I'm not, you know what? I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm not gonna ask y'all why y'all ain't do it because y'all grown. Y'all can do what y'all want. But just think about it. Like why y'all didn't do that joint. Just think about why y'all are here. Okay. All right. Now, thank you, Ben. We'll see you at the end of class. I'll message you as usual when we're ready for you. All right, y'all. So, like I always say, the homework is for y'all, not us. You know what I mean? And I know when I was in shooters camp, it was helpful, but I was also new to shooting. So, if some of y'all already like real good at shooting, maybe that's why you feel like you ain't got to do it. And you don't have to do it. You really don't. But if you want feedback and stuff, that's the best way to get the feedback, right? Some of y'all think y'all good, and then y'all may not be as good as you think. So, the homework is good so that you can get that feedback, right? So, I always looked forward to getting feedback on my homework when I was in shooters camp. But again, that's just me. Anyway, so tonight, y'all, we are doing video editing. So hopefully you all have Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro. Like I mentioned before, we use Premiere Pro because it is available on Mac as well as PC. I know a lot of y'all might edit in Final Cut, but that's only available on Mac. Whereas I am very partial to MacBooks. Obviously, I just don't understand why anybody would have a PC. And you know, people usually say stuff like that, and they be like, "No offense, but take offense if you want, because that's just I just don't know why you have a PC." But anyway, I do like Macs as well, but we want to be an equal opportunity class, so we want to make sure that everybody can do this. So we're going to use Premiere Pro tonight. Now we have a special guest teaching y'all tonight. Y'all met him before on week 2. He did the lighting call. So y'all already know him. Oh, see his light, and look at his lighting. He got the red lights in the background. You see what I'm saying? This is why he be doing the lighting call. You know what? At this point, I just gotta leave. I just gotta turn it over to him. I can't even say nothing else. That's right. He even got the lighting, the Zoom lighting looking good. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, go ahead, Terrence. I can't even say nothing else at this point.
What's good, y'all? See y'all again for Nika trip. But yeah, so we're gonna get into Premiere. So you know when y'all have y'all's clients and you have to shoot, you have to edit those reels, edit that content you shoot, you know what I'm saying? You know how to actually get it done. You're not just sitting there looking crazy on YouTube trying to figure it out. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start sharing my screen. Let me know, are we able to see my screen?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Y'all make sure y'all stop him if y'all have questions. If he's going too fast or whatever, like, or if you don't understand something, just please stop him. So y'all remember, this class is for y'all to get the most out of it. So please, if y'all ask questions, please ask.
All right, and I want to clarify that I'm on Premiere Pro 2024, not Premiere Rush. Make sure it's Premiere Pro, right? It should automatically update if you have that option selected, but make sure it's Premiere Pro, not Premiere Rush, because Premiere Rush is a whole different John. But yeah, so we're gonna start out. We're gonna open a new project. So we see if when you first open the apps, it'll look like this. It should look like this. You'll have recent projects that you worked on before. So let's say you already, let's say you did a shoot with Panique and you started a project last week. That would show down here, but we're gonna create a new one. So I just click new project. Let me move y'all out the way. So this window pops up and then I can choose where I want to save it. So you see here, project location, and then what I want to name it, project name. So I'm gonna click that drop down arrow, click choose location. I want to save on my SSD, my external hard drive. And I'm gonna name mine just SCAM editing class. So you see I chose where I want to make sure you actually like choose where you want to save it so you know where it is. You don't want to end up in a situation like, dang, where is that file? and then name it something to where you once again know what it is. So we just created, if you did that now, we've just created a new project. And think of a project like in terms of like a shoot. So we know that when we're working with a client, right? When we're working with a client, and let's say I have a client, I shoot that client once a month, right? I meet with them once a month, we do a shoot, and I'm shooting like enough content. Maybe we're doing Instagram reels. Let's say ideally I'm getting enough Instagram reels to last them until the next month. So if we shoot on every 15th, the 15th every month, they should have enough reels to be able to post every day or however frequently they post to the next month. So when I do that shoot, I think of that whole shoot as my project. So the reels may be different videos, right? They're all separate individual reels, but the whole shoot together is the project. So when I'm importing all those video clips from my camera, they're all going into this same project. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So your screen, once you create a project, your screen should look something like this. If it doesn't look like this, come up here and you click editing, because you know if it's on one of these other things, this will change how it looks. Click editing. If you don't see these words here, you'll probably see this right here, this little box with a blue dot. You can click that and then come click editing there. All right. So make sure, so if to look like this, you want to make sure this is on edit over here, and you want to make sure you're on editing over here. So this is our menu, and now we can come in here and we can go. So I'm gonna go through real quick like what each thing is. So this is our program. So when down here is our timeline first. This is where we're gonna put all our clips, like when we're like aligning and editing our clips, cutting and all that stuff. We're doing that down here, right? What we're editing down here is gonna show up here. So like to watch it back, it's gonna show up here, right? This is where we can like select our clips and different things. And then this is where we can like preview our clips and stuff like that. So I'm going to import some stuff so we can start demonstrating that. So there's a couple different ways to import things, right? First off, I can click right here, import, and then I can navigate through the my computer. So I just imported that clip. Or if I move y'all, I can go to my Finder or Windows, well, the file browser on Windows. I can drag it over here, right? And then the last way is I can click right here, media browser, and do the same thing, like navigate through, find a file. But you see this one's kind of clunky, so I tend not to use that one. So the easiest way is to drag and drop, or to just come up here to import. Oops, come up here to import. So those are the two main ways I'd focus on. That makes sense? So you see I just dragged the clips, they're down here. If I double click it, it'll pop up here, right? Let's get this out the timeline. So you see it's nothing over here, but it's showing over here, right? It's because our timeline is empty. Remember this over here on the right side is gonna play whatever's down here. This is previewing whatever we're selecting over here. So you see it'll play through the video. I can scrub through it and everything, right? So if I'm gonna like grab a clip or just preview it, make sure this is the right clip, double click it, and it'll start playing up here. I can both hear it and see it, right? So sometimes you'll see, like if you look down here, we'll see these little symbols, right? See that little gray symbol there? If I hover over, it says contains linked audio. That means there's sound on that clip, right? Maybe we shot some B-roll, or maybe we downloaded some B-roll off the internet. And hey, Brandon, why are you looking like that? You confused about something? I don't know what you said because you muted, but I'm gonna take that as nah. But you look like you was confused about something.
My phone, I'm looking at my phone. My phone got the zoom on it. My computer is up here. So I'm kind of zoom in, look at the words on my
Oh,
screen.
yeah,
And
but
I look at my phone.
this symbol means there's audio on that clip, you know. So like for there might be times where you download a clip off the internet, like a little B-roll clip, and it won't have any sound, so it won't have that symbol. You might also see like a little blue bar down here sometimes. If you see a little blue bar, that means the clip is still important. So that'll typically happen if it's a really big file. Maybe you got like maybe you were shooting an event and you had a camera that was just recording the whole event. So it's a 2 hour long clip or something like that. That might take a while to import. So you might see a little blue bar, right? So what we can do from here is we can drag over to our timeline. Let me see if I can find a horizontal clip. All right. So I have this clip imported and I can just come over and drag it to the timeline, right? Now we see two little blue bars. We see one on the top, one on the bottom. On the top is the video. On the bottom is the audio. You can even see V1, V2, V3, A1, A2, A3, video 1, video 2, video 3, audio 1, 2, 3, right? The reason they're like that is because we can stack things on top of each other, right? So for example, think about like a documentary, right? You know how you'll see it when you watch a documentary, you'll see like a person, they're talking to the camera and then they're still talking, but they'll show like a B-roll. Let's say it's a nature documentary. I'm talking about the different types of lions, how they exist. And you see me, but then it cuts to a clip of lions in the wilderness, but you still hear me talking. It's the same thing like that. It's just like, if this right here is the clip of me talking, maybe this is the B-roll of the line. Like basically like B-roll and other clips like that, you can put those on top. So it'll play over. So you'll see if I start here, and I'm gonna mute these because the audio will also play. So quick tip, just M right here on these A tracks, that's the mute. You can hover over it, see it says mute. But if I play it, you'll see it's playing. We see her. And then all of a sudden, like we still hear her, but the clip of Brandon plays on top, right? So whatever clip is on top is gonna play. So if I keep going forward, we see we still have this clip here, we still have this clip here on top of that one. But now the third clip starts playing. So whatever's on the very top is what you're gonna see. Does that make sense? All right. So if I want to get, let's say I don't want these clips here anymore, I can click it, I can press backspace, or I can right click it, click clear, get rid of it. That makes sense? So I'm gonna unmute these. Right now, so when there's nothing else on here, like, all right, so you see I have this one on V1, the video, but you see how I can move it up. That doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't mean anything if there's nothing else on here, right? The only time, like if I had this video up here, I was remembering I add this down here, it's gonna play over this video on the bottom. But if it's just this one clip, it doesn't matter where that is. Also, we can make more than just 3 video and 3 audio. So if I go above, you see I just made a V4, right? So you can have as many of these as your computer can handle. So Command Z to undo, just like anything else. And then I want to say, you see, as I move this, the video and the audio move together, right? No matter where I move, they move together. If, let's say I don't want that, let's say I want them separate, I can right click, and here down here you see it says unlink. If I click unlink, now you see I can move them completely separate. Makes sense? So like they're unattached from each other. So one way that might come in handy is, let's say I want to shorten the audio, but not the video. So if you see, if I come to the, I'm gonna drag it over so you can see the edge. If I come to the very end of the clip, you see that little red bar come up. When you see that red bar, I can click, hold, and drag. I can shorten the clip or I can lengthen it. So whenever I see that red bar, I can adjust the length of the clip. So maybe I want the audio to start over here, but I want the video playing here, or vice versa. Maybe I want to hear the audio, but I don't want the video to come in till here. That'd be a good reason to unlink the clip. That makes sense? Cool. All right, so let's see if I can find a B-roll clip.
Question.
Yes, sir.
I know you didn't get to this part yet, but I've been using Resolve, so I'm kind of getting back used to Premiere. When you started the project, I have a video that I want to make a vertical video, but it's already horizontal. Isn't there? How do you set that before you start the project, or does it automatically go to that?
Well, on this one, it was vertical because the first thing I imported was vertical. So I just cleared that. And then you see now it's horizontal because I dropped in a horizontal clip. So one way you can do is that. But when you, so I'll get to this later, but it has to do with these right here. So like, I'll get to that later. I'll show you how to do that later.
Okay.
But in quick way, like whatever you import first. So if I get rid of this, see how it says drop media here, there's nothing here. Whatever the first clip I drop in is, however, if it's vertical or horizontal, that's going to determine how this is going to be set up. I can change it after, but it's going to automatically adjust. So I drop a vertical clip in there, you see it's vertical. I drop the horizontal in there, you see it's horizontal. All right.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So let me find that B-roll clip. Okay. Hopefully this one is shot correctly because we're gonna find out. But I want to show you how to slow down a clip, right? So I just dragged this clip over here. It's short, but I drag it over here. And just so y'all know, to zoom in and out, I can either press plus on my keyboard or minus. So plus to zoom in, minus to zoom out. Or see this little scroll bar right here? I can come to these little circles at the end and drag them in to zoom in or out to zoom out. Right? So I'm gonna click this clip and I'm gonna come up here, see where it says effect controls right here. I can click that, right? And I can go to time remapping right here. And where it says speed 100%, if I want to slow it down, I can make that 50. It's not, okay, it's not gonna let me. That's cool. Or I can come down here and click speed/duration. So I right click speed/duration. 50, because we wanna be tripping over here. But now I'm gonna undo. So this is how the clip plays out normally. So that's the normal speed of the clip, right? If I redo it, we see how it's half speed now. So when it comes to adjusting that speed, we go back to speed duration. We don't really want to go under 50. Like if you're shooting 60 frames a second, right? Don't make that number lower than 50. Okay. Otherwise, it's gonna start getting a little choppy. Just like how, like, if you're shooting, I don't know if any of you ever shot 24 frames a second, and then try to slow it down and it looks real choppy, it'll start looking more like that. So 50 is about, that's your safe number. Okay. And remember, this is only when you're shooting, when you have a clip that's shot in 60 frames a second or higher. All right.
Where was the drop down again that has the edit speed duration option?
Right click the clip, scroll
Oh.
down, speed duration.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So if I drag over. All right. So I want to get back into this effect controls area. So whenever I have a clip selected, so you see if there's no clip selected, see how nothing's highlighted, nothing shows up here. I select this clip, see it's highlighted. Now I get these options, right? So there's different things I can do up here. So let's do motion. So we have position and scale. So position is where the clip is. So you see if I adjust this, move the clip left and right with the left number, and up and down with the right number, right? Scale is how big the clip is. I can make it bigger if I go over 100 or zoom in, or I can make it smaller if I go under 100 or, zoom out, right? So that's what those two do. And then you see these little arrows over here, that's the resets. Let's say I move this over here, and I move this up here. And I decide I don't like that. Did my mouse just die? Okay. So then I can come over here and reset. I need to plug this mouse up. One second, Charlie. And same thing for this. So, all right, so we see how this one's the whole motion one also has a reset. So let's say I change all these things within the motion category, right? And then rotation, obviously rotating it. And instead of having to click the reset button on each one of these, I can just click the reset that's in the same row as the motion, and it resets all of those within this drop down. That makes sense? Opacity. So I'm gonna put a clip on top of this one. So opacity right here is think of that as like how see-through the clip is, like how if it's a solid clip or if it's see-through. So we have a clip on top of this other clip, but actually they're the same thing. So let me get a different one. I'll use this one of Brandon. All right, so we see Brandon's clip. We clearly see it on top of the other clip, right? So if I select Brandon's clip, and I come down to this opacity, if I make it less than 100, you see it starts to become see-through, right?
Mm.
So that's all that is. Once again, I can reset. Blend modes, that's something like that just affects like how the clip looks on top of another clip. So on the main time you have to worry about that is sometimes if you have like a logo or something like that. But you can play around with these in your free time. It just affects like how it blends or how it sits on top of the other clip. So these all have different looks and effects to them. But the main time I can really see using that is if you're adding a logo or something. Because for example, if it's a logo on a white background, a blend mode can be a quick way to get rid of that white background and just have the logo on there. All right, so I mentioned the mute earlier. So if I play this, let me go somewhere where she's actually speaking. All right, so she's speaking there. If I click the mute, the video is still playing, but the audio is gone. And then we have these eyeballs, which is the same thing. So if I play it normally, we hear and see her. If I click this eyeball, turn that off, now that video is not visible. So once again, let's say I throw Brandon's on here. Maybe Brandon's supposed to be the B-roll, but I want to make sure I see what the clip looks like without Brandon. So normally, Brandon will pop up on top, but I can click this eyeball to turn him off, turn that video off real quick. All right. All right, so when it comes to dropping in video, there's actually a couple different ways we can do it. So if I click back on where it says source, right? Let's say there's times where I don't want the audio on a clip. Like I don't want to hear the talking there. I just want the video, right? I can double click this. You see it'll come up here. I have these two logos right here. You see this logo and this logo. It's like a little film strip and it's a little like sound wave. So if I click and drag here, if I hover over, you see it says drag video only. Hold on. There we go. Drag video only. The little film strip. So if I click and drag that, you see the video comes down, but no audio is with it. Right? And likewise, if I hover over the sound wave, see it says drag audio only. If I click and drag, you see the audio is there, but no videos with it. Right? So there's might be situations where you want to only use the sound from a video, or you want to only use the video and not the sound. And that's how you can do that. All right. Do you have any questions so far? No questions? All right. So I'm going to go over a few quick tools too. So I don't know if you've noticed like these little symbols here. These are different tools we have. So starting with the mouse tool, that's just a regular tool. You can click around, you know, just how a mouse tool typically functions. Then if I can press C on my keyboard. There we go. I can press C on my keyboard and I got a cut tool. So to show you, I'm gonna drag a clip over here. So let's say I only want the video up to here. And after here, like that's all. I don't want any of the rest of this video. I can press C on my keyboard, bring on my cut tool, come to where I want to stop and click it. Now you see it split into two videos, right? So if I don't want that, I can get rid of that. Remember earlier, I can click it and press backspace or delete on my keyboard. So I use that. I press C on my keyboard, and you see I can hover over and click, and it'll cut where I want. I want to go back to my mouse. I can either come here and click it here, or I can press letter V as in Victor on my keyboard and go back to my mouse, right? C on my keyboard, or I can come right here to the razor tool to cut. Another tool that's important right here is this track select. So that's A on my keyboard, right? So I'll show you what that does. All right, so, excuse me. Let's see, I'll put this here, and I'm gonna put this here. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. So I press A on my keyboard, you'll see it'll grab everything there, and I can move it around, right? Versus if I just have my mouse tool, I'd have to drag and select everything. But if I have a lot of clips, I might be doing a lot, where I can just click A, drag everything around. That makes sense? That's track select tool, this second one right here. All right. Go back to V. And then the other tool, so the only other one really that I want y'all to pay attention to is the type tool. That's how you add text, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So this blue line right here, that's your timeline cursor. That just shows where in your timeline or where in your video you are. So you see, to move it, I can come up here, see where these numbers are up here. I can come up here and click, right, to move it, or I can just grab the timeline cursor, click and drag it. So I can come to it, click, drag. Same thing right here on this right video. Click, drag, or click around. Make sense? That's your timeline cursor. And then I'm gonna show y'all, this is something actually I really like about Premiere. This, how it has the ability to, I'll show you. So let's say I have this clip over here. And I'm going to cut this clip. All right, so let's say I have that. All right, now you see how we have this big space in between these clips? Obviously, I don't want that. I want it to go from this clip directly into this clip, right? So one thing I can do in Premiere, this space in between, I can click it. See how I highlighted white? I can click it, and now I can press delete. It snaps them back. It deleted the empty space and snapped them together. So I just come in between, delete. Doesn't matter how large the space is. I can move this all the way over here and snap them together. Now I don't have to, and it snaps them completely together. So I don't know if you've ever edited a video and then like there'll be like a micro little black, like the screen just go black for a microsecond because the clips, maybe they were like this close, but they weren't really touching. That way you don't really have to worry about that because it's snapping them together. It's going to go straight from clip to clip. You don't have to worry about the little black screen popping up. So I really like that. That's called ripple delete. All right. And so now I want to get into that text tool. So once again, I can come down here and click this T, or I can just press T on my keyboard. And now what I can do is I can come up here and you see, just like if you've ever worked in like PowerPoint or something like that, when you're adding text, it's just like that. You see the bar come up, I can click and drag. And now I have this text box and I can type whatever in there. All right. So on my timeline, you'll notice this pink bar. This is the text. The text. So you see, I can move and adjust. I can adjust how long it is, like how long this text is going to be showing up, this title. And I can adjust where it is. So if I don't want it at the very beginning, I can move it over here, right? And another thing is I can actually edit the text. So you see, I have this text, maybe I don't like this font or how it looks. I can click this and then come up to my effect controls like we did earlier. And not only do you see the same, we still have the motion and opacity like I showed y'all earlier, but we also have this right here where it says text. So here, this is where I can choose the font. Right. And then just like, just like in Microsoft Word and all the other stuff, I can choose if it's to the right, if it's centered, however I want it to look. I can choose the size. And, for different fonts, like if I want it bold or thin or italic, stuff like that. Then we have here, just same thing as Word. We have the fill, stroke, and background. Fill, think of that as just the color of the text. So just to show you, if I change the fill, I'll do that, right? Stroke is like the outline of the text. So if I turn on the stroke, see how now there's a white outline? That's your stroke. Tracking. Background is like putting, I'll just show you. Background literally just puts a background on your text. So you see how this gray box popped up. So background has a few different controls. So this first one is opacity, just like with the thing earlier, controls how see-through it is. So 75%. So we can kind of see through this. Like you see how you see Brandon's lip there, right? But it's kind of like, it's not easy to see through. If I turn this up to 100, now it's just solid gray. We can't see Brandon at all anymore, right? So if I make it, I'm gonna make it just some crazy green. So we can't see through it all. As I turn it down, it becomes more and more see-through. And if I go to 0, it's just gone, right? Then we have right here, this is the size of it. So I can make it bigger or smaller. So the smallest it'll get is like, it'll just cover, like you see how it's basically like touching the ends of the letters, right? versus I can make it just huge. And then rounding the corner. So right now, if we look at it, it's an actual rectangle. It has corners and all that, but I can round those off with this last tool. That's what your background is. And then shadow. Shadow is pretty useful. It literally just puts a shadow behind the letters. It's pretty useful for like if your letters are having trouble standing out, if your text is having trouble standing out against the background. So like if you have white text and it's like a bright or white background or white clothes or whatever, you can add a shadow. And let me see, I'll make it. Same thing, we have opacity here. Excuse me. We have the angle of the shadow. So let me make this black or something. And then how far out it is. So you see I can move. Sorry, so this is, so now that it's really obvious, this is the angle. So you see I can choose what angle the shadow is at. And then I can choose like how far the shadow is away. So closer to it to the left. As I drag it out to the right, it gets further back, right? So typically you want it like just a little off because it's supposed to help separate it from the background. Angle is personal preference. And, you know, so is opacity. You see, it becomes more solid as I go to the right, less solid as I go to the left. This is the blur, so I can make it just sharp and solid. If I drag it out like that, see how like it's just sharp, solid, or I can drag this out and it becomes blurred, where now we can't even tell what if you look at the shadow letters themselves, we can't tell what they are anymore, right? And then this one is just like basically how chunky the shadow letters are. And you can hover over these, they'll tell you size, distance, angle, opacity, right? But that's how you edit your text. So you're gonna click the clip, come over to effect controls. They're the same things we had earlier, the motion opacity, and then we also have, click here, we have the text menu. That makes sense? That makes sense? Anybody got any questions in regards to the text? Cool.
Nope.
All right. So I'm gonna get rid of this text and we're gonna go over some other things in this little browser down here. So if I click this, so you see right now, I only see these two things. I can either scroll over like with my keyboard, or not my keyboard, my mouse, my trackpad, or to see the other options, because there's more options in these two, I can click these two arrows here and this menu pops up with the other options. So I'm gonna go to effects. So this is where I find my effects and my transitions. So for example, if I go to video effects, and let's see. I want to find, just to show you something. So I'm just gonna throw a random video effect on here. I just click and I drag it over. And then the effects control will come up. So here, now the effects on. Let's say I want to turn it off, or I don't want to see it. See this eyeball? I can just click that and toggle it on and off, right? Now, that's not really an effect I'd ever use, but that's how it works. So I come over here. I'm gonna click video effects, look for the one I want, and then I'm just gonna click and drag it onto my clip. Then the effect will show up in my effect controls, right? So you saw just now with that effect, it didn't seem like anything happened until I adjusted it. Some effects are like that. Some effects need you to adjust them in order to actually like show anything, right? Versus some effects would just inherently like show, like they'll automatically show. I can adjust it from here, like I can do certain things, but this effect is gonna show off rip. So just keep in mind, like if you add an effect, you're like, man, I don't feel like anything happened, go to look at your effect controls and see, is it something that you need to adjust in order to actually see the effect, right? So for just another example, we see the black and white. I'm gonna turn that off. But if I look at one where I need to control it, let me see. Brightness and contrast, right? I added on here, nothing happened. Like it's the same exact video. But if I come over here to my effect controls and I adjust these, now we're seeing changes in the video. Right? If I want to get rid of an effect altogether, I don't want these on here. I can click this row, see how now it's highlighted, backspace or delete on my keyboard. Backspace or delete on my keyboard. That makes sense. Now the effect's gone. All right, so I want to draw attention to another thing here. So see this little box right here at the front of these clips? See how they both have this little box? I don't know if you see, but it says FX in there. See how this one's gray and this one's purple? Purple means there's an effect added to this clip. So even though we don't see it, this brightness and contrast, I just added it to this clip. Gray means there's no effect added to that clip. So the audio clip doesn't have any effects on it. And we can even see if we come over here to audio, there's no effects. These are all just the default things. There's no added effects on it. But the video, we see brightness and contrast. This isn't default. We added this on here. So when you see a purple there, that means that there's an effect added to that clip. So if I delete that effect, see it went back gray, right? And let me see. Now I want to show you guys some audio effects. So same way we have video effects, we have audio effects. So I can click drag down there. And most of these I won't, like, you shouldn't really have to use most of these. Noise reduction can come in handy sometimes. Like if you have a lot of noise going on, that's in the back of your video, you could try that. But same way, you just drag it over and then it'll pop up here in the audio effects. See, now this is purple and we have it here. Sometimes, yeah, like most of these, you shouldn't really have to use most of these really. I'm trying to make sure if there's anything that I could show you guys that might be useful. Only ones that's like really, sometimes I'll use dynamics. Like if it's too quiet, I use dynamics or amplify. But the thing is too, if you guys haven't heard of the Adobe podcast audio, thing like that, a lot of times, like if your audio is bad, a lot of times you can throw it in there and it'll clean it up for you and give you another audio file. And so the same way, just to show you, the same way we import video, I can actually pull up an audio file. All right, so this is audio that I ran through Adobe Podcast. But the same way I imported a video, I can drag it down here. So I can actually drag it straight onto my timeline, or I can drag it down to the menu down here, right? So a lot of times you can use that to clean up audio if it's bad. But ideally, you'd want it to sound good out the camera as well. You don't want to be polishing a turd or anything like that. You want to make sure that you got your stuff sounding as good as possible before you even make it to the computer, right?
What levels do you suggest for audio on the mixer? -6, negative. What y'all?
Yeah,
What's the
no.
standard?
So you typically want to be around like between like -12 and 18. If you're hitting around -6, you can hit too close to peaking. So
Okay.
For y'all that don't know, so here, yeah, you want to be around. If you see this right here, if I play the video,
clients are extremely important. That's probably one of the biggest things that
so we want to be around this area.
to build
Now he's gonna fluctuate in how he talks, so it's not gonna always hit there. You see how sometimes it's down here, but generally we want to be in this area. We don't want to be up here because it's gonna be getting close to peaking. On your camera too, or your mic, like you'll see like a lot of them, if it doesn't have numbers, it might have like green, yellow, red, or white, orange, red. You don't want to be seeing yellow or red. You want to be in the green. You don't want to be too low. You don't want it to be just like popping up down here. You want to be generally on a lot of cameras, it'll be like towards the middle. You want to be like the audio levels hitting towards the middle, but you don't want to be seeing yellow, red, orange, anything like that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. So we've got effects. We know how to adjust the effects in our effect controls, but what about transitions? So we see right now, it's just a hard cut between those two clips. A hard cut is when it's like, you see that it just goes right to the next clip. The same way we went to effects, we can come over here, go to effects, and instead of video effects, we can click on video transitions. And then we have these different options. They're pretty self-explanatory. I can click and drag in between the clips. See that blue bar pops up? Oops. I want it to show up on both the clips. See that? So I can add it to one, or I can have it to both. To actually transition between the two clips, I want it on both. So now I can let it go. Now, if we play it.
Okay, cool. You can just cut that.
You got a transition. That makes sense? It's pretty self-explanatory. You can do the same thing. There's audio transitions too. If I want audio to fade into another one, you see we have right here, audio transitions, crossfade. So there's different types of crossfades, and they just affect how the audio like transitions between.
You can just cut that. You can just cut.
Right. So I can adjust the transition. If I click it, I can come to each end and I can make it longer or shorter. Just like I go to clips, I click it, I can longer and shorter. So if I lengthen it out,
you can just cut that.
or I can make it really short and sweet.
Okay, cool. You can just cut that.
That makes sense? If I want to get rid of the transition, I can click it, and delete / or backspace on my keyboard. We got any questions so far? All right, so I want everybody to go ahead. If you haven't, you about to ask a question?
No, I was saying no question.
If you
Well,
haven't,
until you, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting until you say. My question actually was earlier. I have a horizontal video, but I recorded it vertical on my camera. But when I bring it here, it doesn't bring up vertical. It brings it up horizontal. And I know how to rotate it, but I still got the black bars on the side. It's not doing the full screen vertical for the project, and I have no idea where to find that.
so come here, go to new sequence, or if you're on a Mac, you can press Command N. And then here, you can determine, click settings. You can swap these numbers here. So you can make this 1080 and this 1920. That'll make it vertical. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
What was I about to say? Oh yeah, so if you haven't, I want everybody to go ahead and drop some clips in their timeline. And then I want you to we're going to add some transitions and effects to our clips. So I'm going to add a cross dissolve at the beginning of this clip. And let's see. Yeah, and I'll add another cross dissolve in between these two clips. So they'll play out like this.
Client relationship management, 3, 2, 1. Cool. You can just cut that one.
So I just want everybody to go ahead and add that and let me know once you've done it. We good? Excuse me. All right. Now I want you to delete the transition in between the two clips. And then drag one of the clips over so you have a space in between like that. Once you've done that, you're going to click the space in between and delete that and snap them back together. So you're going to ripple delete. All right, so now we know how to add transitions to our clips, and we should know how to ripple delete. Next, I want to show y'all how to get some music off YouTube so you can have some music for your videos.
Enter an enchanting dream world and journey through a winter wonderland.
So if I want to use that, I can just come to the video, and I've already seen this music video. That's why I'm clicking this one. But when I'm adding music from YouTube, I avoid music videos. The reason I avoid music videos, is because oftentimes music videos have other stuff in them, like maybe have an intro, some people talking, or other sounds or whatever that you may not want. So if I just want the song itself, I'm gonna find something that's not a music video, like this. These aren't music videos. So this is just a song. So I can click it, open it up, and then I come up here. I can copy this link. And then I can just type in YouTube to MP3. You get all these websites. There's not a particular one I use. You see, I've used these, but it switches up because sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I'll just open up one of the websites, paste the link here, and then choose where I want to save it. Uh-oh, they finessed me. Be careful, because it just finessed me. So actually pay attention to what you're downloading, because you see I did not want that. It's still trying to do the video. As a matter of fact, I think on this one I gotta. All right, there we go. Nope, video not available. That's a good example. So sometimes you have to use different websites. There we go. Download. All right, now this is the song. And they will have pop-ups. So you saw that website popped up. They will have pop-ups, so just be prepared. Now I can come back and just like the audio I showed you earlier, I can, it's over here. Click and I can just drag this song onto my timeline. So now, when I come to my timeline play, unmute it.
Relationship with your clients are extremely.
So as we see, the song is actually louder than Brandon. It hadn't even started, and I can already hear it's louder than Brandon. So how do I adjust that? I can click this, the song, the audio, effect controls. We already see here volume. I can turn it up or down. So I can type in a number, or I can just click and drag to the left or right. So now if I play it,
Relationships with
quieter.
your clients are extremely important. It's probably one of the biggest things that you need to be able to do to continue.
Apologies. Let's see, -18.
Important. That's probably one of the biggest things that you need to be able to do to continue to build relationships with your clients.
So now we see it's a little quieter.
Which one do you want to? Okay, cool. Right.
So that's another thing you have to keep in mind when you're adding music. If somebody's speaking, obviously you don't want the music competing with them. You want to be able to clearly hear them speaking and the music be in the background. We don't want the music too quiet where it's just like I can't even really tell. Like we want it loud enough to where we can hear it, but it needs to be subtle and in the background. It doesn't need to be competing for attention. It's just there to support, to make sure the video is not just boring or stale. That makes sense? So let's say
Question.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Is it just better to use the instrumental of the song instead of the actual song with the words on it?
If I have someone talking, like if it's a speaking clip, a lot of times, yeah, I'd look for an instrumental, because when people start rapping, it starts getting jumbled, right? If it's just a B-roll clip or like an event recap or something like that, I don't have to worry about people talking. I'll use a regular song, or if it's just like maybe it's an event recap and I just have small clips of people talking, but it's not like a whole video of somebody talking, I can just turn down that part. I can just turn down the song a little more when they start talking, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know on YouTube you may get like a copyright strike or something like that. Do we have to worry about that for Instagram or for our clients? I don't know. I don't care about for myself, but okay. That was just a double checker.
Nah. It used to be a thing back in the day, but nah. Now you could always, like, it'll just be original audio, or a lot of times Instagram will just assign like, oh, this is Drake's song, and just add his audio. Or they might be like, oh, your video's playing in Russia. I mean, oh no, my video's not playing in Russia. So I mean, yeah. If you're worried about that, you can always just tell your client, like, I'll give them instructions on how, like, when you're making a reel and you can add audio to it, I give them instructions on how to add the audio. So like this song is, IDGAF by Drake. So they can go when they're looking for the audio, they can add that song and then adjust the volume in Instagram to where the song volume is 1, so you don't really hear it. And then we just hear whatever we edited, like the audio that we have. And that way they don't have to worry about Instagram not playing their video in Russia.
Okay.
So let's say this
is
the video we want. Let's say we edited it. This is how we want it. We see up here, we can just click export. I can name it. And then right here, location, I can choose where I want to save it. And what kind of file it is, but I'm just going to have MP4. You don't have to worry about this stuff. Just leave that. And then this is important. So there's entire source, in and out, work area, custom. All right. So if we have, I have these blue bars here. Right, there's not split up, but these right here. So what can happen is, let's say I have this clip just all the way out here. I moved it over a while ago and I forgot it was there, right? And the video was really just supposed to be this, right? If I have entire source it'll export this and then all this black space and then this video over here, right? Obviously, we don't want that. So when I come in here, I can determine where it's going to set. So I can set like custom. And I can actually adjust. You see how this turned light gray? I can adjust where it is. So you see the video ends there, right? So I can adjust this, and let me zoom in. So just like earlier, I can drag this in to zoom in. It ends right there. Just that to there. So now when I export, it'll only export that. All the black space and that other video at the end is not going to export. So then I can just click export. Exported successfully. So if I go to where it should be saved, here it is.
Relationship with your clients are extremely important.
All right. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, really, you're importing your footage. You adjust, like, make your adjustments that you want, and then add your music if you need, and export. Like, especially when you're shooting with these business entrepreneurs, it doesn't have to be real complicated. A lot of times you're just doing value content, talking heads, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing to really, you don't really have to overthink it or overdo it. That makes sense? Like, a lot of times, simply, but especially as an editor, I had to learn the same thing. So I wanted to do the most and just show off my editing expertise. And not only the clients didn't really care, but it was cost me more time and therefore, more money. We all heard time is money, but it literally is true. Like, the more efficient you can be, the more money you can make, and the less stressed you are. All right. Anybody got any questions for me?
I have a question. So like I only have like one camera right now, and but I was always curious. So say when I do get a second camera, when it comes to like varying angles, because you mentioned like a hard cut earlier. So like, do you essentially just stack the two videos and kind of like match up the audio and then like cut it from there? Like if you wanted to, like you're shooting the same exact thing, but just from like two different angles?
Yes.
Like,
yeah, the audio will match. So yeah, you can just cut from there. See, I don't have an example, but yeah, you sync up the audio, like you sync up the video, so the audio and all that matches, and you just cut from angle to angle. Or you don't even necessarily have to cut. Like, you could just have like the B cam on top. And just to make it simpler, yeah, you could just cut from shot to shot.
okay. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
So if we're doing videos that's made for social media, like Instagram and such like that, should we already? I don't know if this matters, but my camera is not a 4K camera. I can shoot in 1080, whatever. Do I have to shoot? Should I shoot all my videos vertical too, or can I shoot it horizontal and then make it vertical from there?
I mean, you can do either. If I know it's going to like Instagram or TikTok or something like that, or YouTube Shorts, I'll shoot vertical, just to make it simpler. Also, if I shoot horizontal and crop in and it's not 4K, it's not going to look terrible, but you'll see, like, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be as crispy. It still looks passable. I've posted plenty, I've had clients post videos like that and you can't tell. But yeah, if you know for sure this is only going on Instagram Reels, then I'd shoot vertical. Like you see this video of Brandon, I shot vertical because it's not going on YouTube or Facebook anywhere. It was only going on Reels. You know what I'm saying? But if it's something like, oh, this I'm shooting a podcast or a YouTube video or something like that, I'm gonna shoot horizontal, and then we'll just have to crop in to make Reels out of it.
But if it's not shot in, so you're saying it don't matter if it's not a 4K. If I'm doing a podcast, I'm making little clips. It don't matter if it's shot in 4K or not.
Yeah, no, it'll be passable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody has 4K camera, and like it's not gonna be as crisp. Like you as the editor, you'll probably notice, and maybe some people knows, but it's not gonna look like garbage. No one's gonna be like, man, this video looks terrible. I mean, unless you just crop in crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got a decent lens, you know what I'm saying, then you should be good. Like it'll be usable, you know.
Okay.
Now, if you're trying to zoom up somebody's nose or something like that, yeah, you're gonna be looking at pixels and all that. But just don't go too crazy. Questions?
Terrible. Hey, that's it. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, Ben is here to give y'all's homework. If y'all have questions, y'all just gonna have to wait till after Ben, because y'all be slow with the questions. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't got time. So Ben, take it away.
Right. So here is your homework. So for video editing, we want you to use Premiere Pro to edit a 15 to 30-second video and shoot in 24 frames per second for static shots, which is your main subject, and shoot in 60 frames per second for moving shots, or which is the B-roll. The video, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about that. It's my dog. Anyway, all right. So again, shoot in 24 frames per second for static shots, which is your main subject, and shoot in 60 frames per second for moving shots, which are your B-rolls. And the video must include the following: a pan shot, a tilt shot, a static shot, video transitions, video effects, texts, and B-rolls. So slow motion, only the shots that are in 60 frames, and post one edited video per day. So don't worry, guys, I'm gonna post this homework in the group, but let me show you a sample from the previous shooters camps. So let me share my screen. All right. Okay. All right. Let me show two samples. This is the first sample. Then, or you can do something simple like this. Let me just. Oh, okay. Right. All right, so I think that's it. Any questions or clarifications? Violent reactions to you guys?
No, that was cool.
All right. I can't wait to see you guys' homeworks. I hope there will be a lot of homeworks for this week. so we can see everyone. So yeah. So yeah.
All right, thank you, Ben. Appreciate that. All right, everybody. So this is definitely the week where people fall off on homework. Like last week, basically as soon as we start video, people just be like, I'm out of this. So last week, Ben already said barely anybody did their homework, but this week, hopefully y'all will be different than the other classes. But typically this week it's like nothing. Like Ben don't hardly have any homework to check. So we don't want that to be the case this time. He wants to look at y'all homework. He wants to get y'all feedback. So y'all definitely edit these videos. So y'all don't have any more questions before Ben leaves about the homework assignment or what's what's required. All right, Ben, I guess you good to go then.
Thanks, Ben.
All right, thank you, Ben. All right, y'all. So that concludes tonight's class on editing. How was Terrence had to leave, by the way. He had to get to another meeting. But how was tonight's class? This is the part where y'all gotta say something.
I appreciated it because I honestly, so I have been using basically either iMovie or like CapCut just because Adobe Premiere Pro can seem a little bit overwhelming to me at times. Even when you try to like look at the YouTube tutorials, sometimes they get way too in the weeds. Because I know there's like way more to it, but I think that he did a very good job of doing like a high level comprehensive, so where I can like, okay, this is where I can start. And then if I want to get fancy later, then I feel like I can do that. But at least I know I can get the basics from what
Right.
So
yeah,
it was really good.
Okay, good. Anybody else? Oh, the rest of y'all sleep. The ones that got their screens off. It's just B Mash and Tatiana tonight. Everybody else, y'all sleep. All right, so since both y'all got y'all screens on, y'all have been tapped in, I'm gonna send both y'all a $50 Amazon gift card. So y'all get y'all some equipment or some SD cards.
Hey, I'm here. Hold up now.
It don't matter. So B Mash and Tatiana, I'm gonna send y'all each a $50 Amazon gift card. So just shoot me your email that you want me to send it to. Just text it to me directly. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry, B Mash. You was about to say something.
Hold up now. I've been here the whole time taking notes because I don't know nothing about video.
You got your screen off. You not tapped in. They in here. They done had their screens on. They participating. All right. Anyways,
I could test. No. I need something because I've been here.
You still ain't had your screen on. I ain't seen your face all day.
Well, that's because I'm taking notes. And I didn't want to show my face.
They taking notes too.
But I'm always here on time.
Okay. So yeah, y'all text me y'all email address. Y'all want me to send a gift card too. All right. Somebody was about to say something though.
Yeah, I was just saying, I was previously using Resolve before class. I would use Premiere before, but it's been a little bit different. So it was good to get a refresher. But I'm also wondering, do we want to use a specific one for like any certain reason besides what we want to use it for? Or if I want to train someone else to use it, do I look for people who are going to use Premiere or Resolve or Final Cut or whatever? How does that work? I guess I don't have to worry about that till later on down the line anyway.
Yeah, I would say though, so it depends. So I would definitely use whatever you're most comfortable with. Obviously, if you're going to be the one training them, you want to train them on whatever you're most comfortable with because it's going to be easiest for you to train them on that platform. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely recommend like either Premiere Pro or Final Cut because everything else is kind of just like, like say I'm not a shooter, but I'm just a business owner and I'm editing my own stuff. So then I'm gonna use like CapCut or like iMovie or something like that. But Premiere Pro and like Final Cut, those are like the professional ones. So I would definitely use one of those. So if your whole team is gonna be using Final Cut, if everybody on your team got MacBooks, then cool. But if not, I would say Premiere Pro.
Okay.
And I'm saying, that's the same reason we use Premiere because, if somebody has a PC, you can't get Final Cut. So if all my tutorials and SOPs are showing Final Cut, and then I hire somebody that has a PC, it's like, now what? I mean, unless that's a part of your job requirements that they have to have a MacBook, then that'll work. But so just keep that in mind. But I would say
Okay.
whatever you're most proficient at.
So
Okay.
I want to know if, in like, say in another universe, right, Final Cut is also available on both, and also Adobe Premiere Pro, of course, is already offered on both. Which one do you think is better? Because I do have a Mac. I mean, I know we learned on Adobe Premiere Pro, but I'm just curious, like, industry standard, or is it just like the whole Canon versus Nikon, like it's personal like preference?
Yeah, I mean that yeah, so it's personal preference. But also, you know, one of the coolest things about Final Cut is you pay for it one time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you pay it for one time, you just update it if an update comes out. Premiere is a monthly subscription. And even if you know, like you are in school for the rest of your life, you still have to pay for it per month. You just get it as a discount. But Final Cut, I paid for Final Cut in 2019, and I haven't had to pay for it again since. You feel me? So a lot of people like it for that reason. But I think as far as which one is better or which one is easier, whichever one that you learn and practice on. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't know, if you're not familiar with either one, then they both gonna be hard. So whichever one you learn how to do is gonna be which one is easiest. Because they have a lot of very similar features. I mean, it's about the same, but it's just which one do you know how to use?
Okay.
I don't really think one of them is harder than the other. I just think whichever one you actually practice on and use is gonna be the one.
Okay.
But yeah, that Final Cut is very attractive to a lot of people because you only have to pay for it once.
Okay. And our homework,
Anybody else?
I'm sorry. Is our homework? So our homework is just export a video, so it don't really matter what we edit on for the homework, right?
No, we want you to edit on Premiere Pro for the homework.
Okay.
Yeah, we want y'all to practice on Premiere Pro.
Okay.
Yeah,
I get back
we
used
want y'all
to
to
it.
shoot this joint with your camera, you know, keeping in mind, you know, ISO, aperture, shutter speed, all the stuff we learned, B-roll being in 60 frames, everything you learn, you want to keep in mind, lighting, all that good stuff. And you want to edit on Premiere Pro based on what he taught y'all tonight. You know, pans and tilts and all that. Like, yeah, everything that you learn up to this point, we're pretty much bringing it together and creating a video. And, you know, don't be intimidated. Like, if the two examples he showed, you know, I mean, like I said, one of them was more simple than the other, but both of them, I mean, you guys are capable of doing it. So don't be intimidated. And then also don't do this. Like, a lot of times, like, the first person will post theirs, and then other people be like, man, that joint was so good, I'm not even gonna post mine. Post yours anyway, so we can give you some feedback so you can get better. Especially if you feeling like this person is better than mine, you definitely need to post yours, because you need the feedback to get to, you know, so where yours is better than theirs. And yours might already be better. We just always a lot harder on ourselves. So please make sure you post it anyway. Does anybody have any other questions about the homework assignment? No? All right. So then that officially concludes the week 5 call. I heard from some of y'all today on whether or not y'all want a t-shirt or a plaque. And I told y'all I'll get back with y'all with the exact shipping. So it's been a crazy day. I just got home not too long before this call. So I would calculate those shipping costs and stuff and get those numbers to y'all. For those of y'all who did not respond to the text, I don't need to call y'all out. Y'all know who you are. Please go ahead and respond to that text. If you don't want a t-shirt or a plaque, just say, you know, no, thank you, I'm not interested or something. But I want to hear a response from everybody. So when I order these and you be like, I didn't get one, I can say, yeah, you said you didn't want one. And so we'll go from there. All right, so this concludes week 5. As far as our Monday night call. All right, Faith, I got you. Just respond to the text or the message whenever you get a chance. Aisha, it is a next level. So the same shirt, if you came to yellow print, you did VIP, it's the same brand as that shirt was. Next level 3600. Next level is the brand, 3600 is the model number or whatever. It's a unisex shirt. Like I said, it's the exact same brand as the ones we had for yellow print. If you got the VIP.
Is it pre-shrunk too?
That I don't know. You could probably Google that and see. I don't think so, but you could check. It might be. Yeah, so anybody that that needs to leave, you can leave. We'll just take Q&A if anybody has any additional questions. If not, we'll get up out of here early. So if anybody has questions about anything, client outreach, pricing, whatever the case may be, we can do that at this time. If not, we out. No questions? All right, I guess that's it for tonight. Thursday we will have Ken Collier will be our guest speaker. He will be going over like how to set up an LLC, how to get like a business email address. So some of y'all still using like y'all Gmail and stuff. He's gonna show y'all how to get, get a domain and get a professional email address and stuff like that. He's basically going to be going through the whole business setup. And the reason we like to do that because we find that a lot of people have been shooting and stuff, but they don't have their business set up. You'd be surprised how many people have actually even gone through shooters camp and still don't have an LLC set up. And in some states, it's super inexpensive. Like here in Georgia, I think it's only like $100. And it's super easy to set up. Like it literally, you can set that up in less than 10 minutes. And people don't do it, which is weird because it's like if you don't have an LLC, you can't set up a business bank account. You can't get an EIN, like it just gets weird. So anyway, we're gonna have him on there going through how do you get an LLC, how do you get an EIN, how do you set up your business. So that's gonna be dope. So definitely make sure y'all tap in Thursday for that. And that's all I got. Like we're almost done, y'all. We are like almost at the end of this thing. Going by so quick.
It did.
Very
This
fast.
the last week or how many weeks is it? Is this the last week?
No, next week.
Next week is the last week. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Next week's the last week. And is that in addition to the program training?
Yeah, so Brandon is actually gonna talk to y'all about that on next Thursday.
Okay.
So next week is like the last week of the 6-week like shooters camp curriculum part of it. But then on Thursday, next Thursday, that's November 2nd, I think it is. Dang, it's November already. That's crazy. Anyway, he's gonna be talking to y'all about that part of it.
And will we still be able to use the online portal?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The portal, you have lifetime access to the portal. So the portal is not going anywhere. And even those group chats, like now the group chat, I ain't gonna say like lifetime access because at a certain point you shouldn't really need us no more, but you definitely could keep using the group chats. Like I get people from like that took shooter camp earlier this year that still use their group chat and like ask us questions. I had somebody in there earlier that took shooters camp Q2 and she was asking us something about she was outreaching, doing some client outreach and she had a question. So y'all could definitely still use those chats for like, the near future. And that's it. I'd be having people hit me up for whenever, to be honest. I mean, all the time I'm talking to people that have gone through shooters camp years ago, 2020, 2019, 2021. Sometimes people just, now then we didn't have like the group chats and stuff, so they might just text me. But yeah, y'all could definitely still reach out. We're still here to answer questions. So I don't want y'all to feel like, oh, it's over. I can't hit y'all up. No, y'all can still hit us up. But most of y'all don't even take advantage of it now. So I know y'all ain't gonna be doing it after it's over. So. All right,
Yeah, right
y'all.
now I'm hitting y'all up.
Yeah, right.
I am. I'm moving. I'm moving up that way, Paneet.
I remember you said that.
I'm serious. My lease ends November 27th. I already put in I already notified them my notice to vacate and everything. I found a place up there.
Really?
In there. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm be pulling up. I'll be like,
what city you trying to move to?
What city?
Yeah, nobody really stay in Atlanta.
Oh, I don't even know. I know the name of the apartment complex.
Oh, okay. All right, that's what's up.
I think they said it was like Buckhead area, considered Buckhead area. Whatever that means. North side of Atlanta.
But if you're in Buckhead, I hope you got a garage, because the way they be busting windows out over there is ridiculous. So
There is a parking garage, so I heard that. That's one of the first because I asked around before I, started looking for apartments and stuff, but that's one of the main things they said is like it's a lot of car break-ins up there.
oh yeah, for sure. These people, they don't care. They definitely like smashing windows out around here.
Mm-mm.
So anyway, but all right, that's what's up. Pull on up. We here. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna let y'all go. I got some work to do. So if y'all need anything, as always, hit us up in the group chats. Hopefully we will see some homework in the Facebook group. And yeah, if y'all have questions, comments, concerns, y'all know where to find us. And that's it. That's all I got for tonight. Appreciate y'all.
Night, y'all.
Go to Amazon and buy
All
that
right, appreciate
cards
y'all.
real quick. All right, see y'all.